So now let's get into some layering. We're going to stack this vocal a little bit. I'm going to show you how to organize it. And we're going to basically talk about just the process of recording because there are a few things to consider here. So first thing I'm going to do is we have these two tracks. If you recall, I edited out this little piece right here to give it a different tuning. What I'm going to do is take the first track, which is just pretty much standard auto tune on it with no extra settings. I'm going to duplicate that by hitting Command D. And I'm going to drag it below since these two kind of stay together and they're one piece just to keep it organized. And there's a couple things to consider here. So depending on the speed of your computer, recording with pitch correction on might slow down or give you a lot of latency. There are a couple workarounds for that. One, we could straight up just no plugin, take the pitch correction off because to be honest with you, you don't want to record or track any vocals with the auto-tune on because you won't actually sing it. You'll be singing to the auto-tune in a way. So it kind of makes you a lazier singer. You really want to get the best take and performance to give you a nice solid vocal performance to tune later instead of just being lazy and singing to the tuning. If you don't want to take the pitch correction off, another option is to go up here to this area. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this just kind of blank gray area right here. And I'm going to customize the control bar and display. And all the way on the right here in modes and functions, I'm going to add this button called low latency monitoring mode. So you add that and this little button came up here. We just click up in the gray area again to get rid of that window. And the speedometer logo came up here. This is the low latency mode button. What this does is as soon as I turn it on, if you look at my inspector window all the way to my left, you'll see when I click it, the pitch correction, stays on. Usually what it does is it'll bypass any plugins that are going to slow you down. But in this case, I think they've fixed their kind of algorithm, if you will, on the pitch correction because it used to be really bad. But if you're using a third-party auto-tune or something like that, it might be pretty heavy processing for your computer, and it'll give you latency to record with it on. So you could do low latency mode, which bypasses anything like that. Also, if you're recording with a limiter or something on your master output track, that'll definitely give you latency and it'll bypass that, which you essentially don't want to do because it kind of gives you a false sense of volume. So when you do turn it off and you hit the low latency mode and it buttons it and bypasses the limiter, your volume will drop drastically. So recording with nothing on your output is the best way to do it so that you don't have to fuss around with the levels and stuff the whole time with the person you're recording or yourself if you're just recording yourself like in this case. So I've duplicated the track. I'm going to just turn the auto-tune. I'm going to bypass it by turning it off right here. And I'm going to turn on my input monitoring mode so that we have a live feed here again of the microphone. Here we go. So since I'm in low latency mode and now I selected monitoring, it actually does bypass the pitch correction. As you can see, it turned orange in my inspector window here, which is what I thought it was originally going to do. But I guess because I didn't have the input monitoring selected, that didn't happen. So if I turn off low latency mode, it's now activated again. Even though I had it bypassed, it's accessible. So click back here. Cool. There we go. Great. So now we're ready to track a double. So doubles are really good because they give you some support to your other vocal. It gives a little texture and you want to sing it identical to the other one. So we're going to have to listen through and double check some of the little bits that I did that were particular to that take so that it matches pretty closely. Let's hear it real quick. I really need somebody, yeah. Someone just like you. Okay, let me fast forward here. I really need somebody, yeah. Cool. Get a little pickup there at the end. Someone just like you, just like you, just like you. I really need somebody, yeah. Okay, simple enough. Let's do a pass and see how it goes. Another thing also you want to make sure is that you can distinctly tell the difference between the vocal you're recording and the one you're listening to. So this is important because you want to be able to hear the new vocal that you're recording louder than the other one. So sometimes it's not a bad idea to lower the original lead that you're tracking to. So let's see what we got here. I really need some. Okay, so I can't hear myself at all in comparison. They just sound too loud. Let me go ahead and lower this one a little bit more, and let's do another pass. I really need somebody, yeah. Someone just like you. I really need somebody, yeah. Someone just like you, just like you, just like you. I really need somebody, yeah. Cool. That was pretty close. I feel like that was pretty close. Let's listen back real quick. I'm going to turn the low latency mode off. Turn the pitch correction on. Let's just hear them together, soloed. See how that works. I really need somebody. Turn this back up. Yeah. Someone just like you. First one was a little off. Let's see here. I really need somebody. Yeah. Yeah, the ending was not great. So let's punch that in real quick. And I'm going to just cut it here. I'm going to do a quick punch in and stop it before the next section. Really important that you don't want to overlap the takes here because then it creates like a playlist, which I don't particularly like to do, but is a feature in Logic. Let's see here what happens. Got to reactivate everything. Turn on low latency mode. Now we're ready to go. I really need somebody. Yeah. Okay, so I don't do as hard of a yeah. One more. I really need somebody. Yeah. Much better. Let's hear them together now. Turn the low latency mode back off. You can hear there's a delay. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it on your end, but there certainly is. So let me turn that off here so we don't get distracted. I really need somebody. Yeah. Much better. Someone just like you. That one's good. I really need somebody, yeah. That one's really good. The timing is really tight on that, and that's something important to consider, which in the full version of this course, we're going to dive into all of that stuff. But this is just the kind of basics. Someone just like you, just like you, just like you. I really need somebody, yeah. Cool. I'm going to duplicate this track now. I'm going to mute the one that I just did, and I'm going to make another double of the same lead originally. And you want to kind of do it this way so that you only hear the one vocal. As you get into a rhythm recording, you can kind of just start cranking them out. But if you're just kind of getting into it, this is a good way to just get good doubles and have them be consistent without having to sing to a huge stack of vocals. So let me go ahead and go back. Input monitoring. Let's do another take. I really need somebody. Someone just like you. I really need somebody, yeah. Someone just like you, just like you, just like you. I really need somebody, yeah. Cool. Feeling pretty good about that take. And these takes, in a sense, aren't going to be as important as the main lead. And the idea about the stacking is that we want to have one crisp lead vocal, and then we want to have some kind of lead backgrounds that double it, that sit in a different place. So now what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to organize these to work together. So I'm going to select both of the background tracks, create a track stack, and we're going to do a summing stack, which is going to create a bus and a new output for these two tracks, which is here. It's a collapsible folder. And I'm going to pan one to the left, one to the right, not hard pan, but kind of, right straight out there. And now we can affect these together. But let's hear how this goes. I really need somebody. So I'd have to retake some stuff here, but for the sake of the magic of television, I would do that later on, but just to kind of get a little balance here to see what we're listening to, I have the two background vocals and then I have the lead in the middle. So I'm going to basically try to bring the lead up so we can work around that. I really need somebody. Yeah. I'm going to turn the backgrounds down and we're going to slowly bring them in. Someone just like you. There we go. They're low, but they just give a little layer texture. So let's hear it from the top here. I'm just going to solo them. I really need somebody. Yeah. So you hear the main lead vocal still the most, and the others are there to just kind of fill it out. And it kind of sounds like a gang a little bit, but because it's all just my voice, it just sounds like that. In the next lesson, we're going to dive into adding effects and processing this so it sounds really great. I'll see you there.